Welcome to YouthForce Chronicles. My name is Mr. Joe, and this is the podcast for teens.
By teens.
Yeah, there it is.
And we're going to get to talk about jobs and careers today. We are interviewing Mary. What does she do?
I don't know.
Let's find out.
Are you ready?
What's up, guys? My name is Mr. Joe, and this is YouthForce Chronicles. Today, we are joined by our new guest. Co-host, Silas. Silas, introduce yourself.
I'm Silas Dunn.
Silas done. He's done with everything.
And then we also have our other co-host.
Yeah, you know, it's Crazy Jay here. How y'all doing today, yeah?
Everybody doing well out there. How's everybody here today?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we also have our special guest for the day.
Yes.
We have Mary. Mary, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Mary Cordero.
What? Okay. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see if Silas can figure this out.
Yes, it's going to be a good time. So, even though we're going to talk about jobs and careers, first we got to tell a little fun fact about ourselves. And so, the way we do things here is that we have 10 seconds to come up with a fun fact. If we don't say it in time, then we, one of the co-hosts here, get to make up one for you.
Yeah. No pressure, Silas. No pressure.
Okay.
So, to start this off, a fun fact about me is that I fell out of a chair while holding food,
Oh, my God.
and I did not spill any food item on my plate.
That is my most favorite Joe story that I love telling. It was at the Christmas party for the club. Oh my gosh. The chair just exploded from underneath him. Boof! He just sat down too. He's like, whoa, nothing spilled. Man, it was a Christmas miracle.
Did you just keep eating, or?
No,
Yes.
he did. Well,
Yes, I
yes.
did.
Yeah. But nothing spilled. Like, that was he just went, woof. It's like, anyways, it was really cool.
I once fell into a pool with a brownie in my hand, and I made sure to save the brownie, and it didn't have a drop of water on it.
See?
I was
That's a
proud of
win.
that, Yeah.
No one likes a soggy brownie. Is that your fun fact?
No.
No.
Okay.
Oh, that's good to know.
That's good to know, though.
Okay, we're gonna come back to Mary. So we're gonna go to Silas first. Silas, what's a fun fact about yourself?
He's got to do a quick turnaround.
Well, I have a cat that weighs 17 pounds.
there. What?
Yeah.
Bowling balls don't even weigh that much.
Yeah, I put a chip in front of him this morning, like far enough away so he couldn't get it, and he tried sticking out his tongue to reach it.
Wow.
Yeah. And I didn't make
So,
that
like,
up.
is that just trying to, like, get him exercise, or is it torture? What is it?
Well, no, it's like he barely ever moves, and if you, like, no matter what position you put him in, he kind of absorbs into his surroundings, and so, yeah, so he does that, and the only time he runs or moves a lot, whenever he hears, like, food in a bowl or something, he becomes the Flash, and he's gone. So.
Oh, I thought he just, like, breathes like that.
No, that's just you.
You know I have asthma.
Okay, Jay, Crazy Jay. Fun fact about yourself.
I wrote the song to the intro of this podcast.
Did you actually?
No, he didn't.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was like, that's
I'm
impressive.
gonna give you 5 seconds this
5
time.
seconds? Oh,
Yeah.
my gosh.
Count 5.
I learned how to put in plugs this weekend at my house.
Ooh. Did you electrocute yourself?
I did.
Did you actually?
I 100% did. That is not a joke. I electrocuted myself on accident because I was trying to test the 2 wires. We have, like, electric heating in the ceiling for some. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea. But these big knobs. And so I was trying to test it to see if there was power coming to it, because I thought I should turn it off the breaker. And it had these, like, little clips that, like, test it. And the rubber came off the one. And I got distracted because it made a spark at first. I'm like, ooh, sparky. And it fell. And I just go, blah, blah. And it was like, oh my gosh. My wife about fell out because she's like, oh, please don't die. I'm like, I'm up. So, I mean, like, it would have, I was terrified the whole night that my heart was going to, like,
Stop.
freak out, like, later. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So anyways, yeah.
Well, that's hilarious. It shouldn't be hilarious, you know.
I mean, it is, but it did.
It's funny to me because I know you.
Well, it burnt my thumb. It, like, came out my finger. Like, I went up and it came out my thumb, and, like, I was like, I smell popcorn, but it wasn't. It's just a
Oh,
bacon.
it's so
I smelled bacon,
it's so
but it was my
nasty.
skin.
Because it was bacon.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But that was the only time I got electrocuted. So
Oh, that's
knock on
good.
that wood.
That's good to know.
I got electrocuted.
All right, Mary, now it's your turn. What's a fun fact about yourself?
Fun fact about me is that I lived in Sydney, Australia for
What?
6 months. Learned how to surf, went camping with kangaroos.
You
and all
camp
that.
with kangaroos?
But the real question is,
that
Bluey
illegal?
there?
no. Forget about
Bluey?
Bluey. The real question is,
don't say forget
no.
it. No,
Hey, no. Here's the real question:
Bluey?
Did you fight a kangaroo?
Oh yeah.
No fights.
Oh dang!
But I was like tent camping, woke up in the middle of the night, had to go to the bathroom. There's like, we're at a campground where there's bathrooms, and our tent, the backside was mesh. So I'm deciding, I'm like seeing kangaroos in the wild, like, do I go to the bathroom or not go
Yeah.
to the bathroom?
Hold it till the morning.
They just stare at you. Be like,
They're just bigger. They're like bigger than us.
Yeah. It
They're
would
so
like
big.
they would definitely they just look like they just taunt you. Like just walk in you, say something, and then they just pop you in the face.
They're like not as cute
Yeah.
as they are at the zoo.
Well, they're also bullies because we took Bodie, my son, to a friend's birthday party here in town, and they have this place that's like a animal retreat. I don't know, not a retreat, but like
Yeah.
a sanctuary, and they had 2 baby kangaroos, right? And so they had this baby goat that was following us around. They kept it in the barn while we were in the barn looking at the camels and all that stuff because they didn't want to like go out there and the goat be eating the cake or something. and so they go in there and they're like, well, just put the goat with the kangaroos. And the kangaroos started bullying this goat. I was like, hey, leave that kid alone. Because they were like, because the baby goat's a kid.
I get
Okay,
it.
all right.
I get it.
You looked confused there for a second.
No, I'm just a little bit
Yeah,
okay.
it's okay. I know it was a dad joke for sure, but they were like pulling on its tail, and it was like, meh, meh. It was kind of. I have video of it.
Bang it into the fence. Bow.
I was like, world star. So, anyways, I digress.
They stuff the goat into its pouch and just
okay.
It's a baby goat. I'm gonna put him in my pouch. I don't know why they do baby goat.
then belly flops on concrete.
Yeah.
So, Mary, what was your favorite part about being in Australia?
Oh yeah.
I think the people I met there and also just the scenery. Like we were close. We could go to the beach every day. You're close enough to go to the mountains.
Why'd you come home?
All
Like,
of that.
did you?
I had to.
Was it a vacation or was it like
I was study abroad in college.
Ooh.
So I worked and I studied while I was there. I won't tell you what I studied.
Okay, that's what I was about to say. If I ask you, will it spoil?
I studied one required class that had
Okay.
nothing to do with what my
You do?
job is now.
Okay.
Was Australian history.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
there was like 10 or 12 of us from the University of Tennessee, all in that class, and then probably 10 or so Australian kids. So we were learning Australian history, and they were learning American history from the perspective of Australia.
Did you get to like, what are the Aborigines? Who are the people? Did you
Yeah.
get to like be with them? Oh man, I've always wanted to do a trip like that where I'm like Indiana Jones in it, like just sleeping with
Really?
yeah.
that's what you think it's
Saw
going to be
people
like?
played the didgeridoo.
Yeah, let's see.
Like long thing. The thing
That's
I made in VBS one time.
Yeah.
And now this is for real.
Did you do the bullet ant thing where you stick your hands in the
In the gloves?
the gloves and had the ants bite you?
No.
It's okay. I wouldn't have done it either.
That's actually
Try
kind
to
of cool.
avoid all the bugs.
Oh yeah, was it
I was
okay?
there.
Is the thing that they say about spiders true?
Yeah, all the spiders, snakes, lizards.
Does the toilet flush the opposite way?
I don't remember that. I
What?
feel like, yeah, it did. I mean, like people drive on different sides of the street,
Yeah.
walk on the different
Everything's
sides of the street, like everything's backwards.
Okay, that's
The stars are not
Whoa.
the same, I
Yeah.
didn't realize that.
really
Yeah.
well. I guess that makes sense. You're on the
Stars.
other side of the.
You're looking at totally different stars.
Oh, that's
Is
crazy.
it like all
Yeah.
upside down or backwards, or is like actually like
They're
different?
actually different. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
There's something so
'Cause
like
you're on the bottom half of the world.
But
Take
the
that,
you're not
flat
seeing
earthers.
like the northern stars. You're
Yeah.
seeing like the Southern Cross is like it there, like North. Wow. Yeah.
Is it when was it? Did you go where there's no light pollution too? Like you could see everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that a couple times. Been to Haiti and done that same thing where you're just like, holy cow, this is what the sky really looks like at night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
But so I guess we'll go ahead and get into the next portion of the show, and that is Guess Who?
So, in this part of the show, this is where Silas is going to see if he can figure out what you do.
Under pressure.
But we have some ways that you can go about this. You can come up with two truths and actually no, it's two lies and one truth, where you'll tell them some things of like, oh, this is what I do, but one of those options you give them is the actual truth of what you do.
Yeah.
Or you can just poorly explain what you do and see, based on those explanations, he will figure it out.
Or Willie. Just know there's something at stake here if you don't do it.
What?
Your left shoe.
Yeah, you gotta give up your left shoe every time you come through the door for the week. See, even the lights agree.
Yeah.
It got really menacing there when I said that. That was funny. Okay, all right. So, which one would you like to choose, Mary?
I think I'll do 2 lies and a truth.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
All right, ready? Are you ready, Silas?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right.
Okay. Number 1, I am a famous YouTuber. Have a whole show, and we go around the country interviewing people on what they do for fun. Like, we talk about all their hobbies and activities to kind of open the doors for people to learn about new hobbies and what they want to do. So we interview. I've been to North Dakota recently doing some, even far as South Georgia, close to Florida. We do a lot of different things. So
I'm guessing that is a lie.
No, you can't guess.
Oh,
yet.
I can't guess
Yeah,
yet.
you gotta-
I
Oh,
hear everything.
You
I've
gotta
never-
hear all
I've never
two
done-
more.
all the facts
There's
first,
2
man,
more.
or the details.
Number 2, option 2, is that I am a account executive for a marketing firm. So I help clients across the country do their marketing. So whether that's social media and influencers, NIL deals, or TV commercials, Google ads, all those things, help people do that.
Okay.
Last, I am a software engineer for
wow.
a company that makes websites and softwares in agriculture. So they think of an app that helps you know when your corn is ready to be harvested, and
Wow.
it helps you
Oh, that's good to know.
draw the maps and the plots of land and that kind of stuff.
That's what's
they
hard.
We recently partnered with John Deere.
What?
And it's called they're a market center, and you put it in your tractor, and it's part of what makes a tractors autonomous now. They
Yeah.
drive themselves.
I always
Pretty-
wondered
pretty
how
cool
they did
stuff,
Yeah. It's off of Wolverine. Speaking of Deadpool, Wolverine coming. No, I'm just kidding.
that. Shameless plug. Okay, Silas, you have 3 options.
I will say that was the hardest one.
Yeah.
You did that very well.
yeah, I'm
think
a little
All of those
confused.
sound so.
Yeah, I think option 1 sounds pretty believable.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion though.
I don't think it's option 1 though, because
Why do you say that?
I don't remember anything about a YouTuber, in the.
Oh, that's right.
right.
Okay, yeah. I see what you're
Ooh,
saying. Oh,
He's
I
using
certainly-
his knowledge.
Yeah. Did I unplug you? Hold on.
No, you didn't. You just
go ahead.
stepped on the thing and it pulled me. I'm guessing it's option 2.
Option 2 is
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey.
We may have a fluke in this system, but thanks God. Your reward is you get to keep your left shoe for the rest of the week.
Yay.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? That's the thing that needs to happen. If they lose, we take their shoe for the
Why is it that every time you are talking right now, the light just decides?
I don't know. What is the deal? Okay.
Maybe
You,
just.
you have some kind of secret powers you need to tell us about.
When I get emotional, I surge out. So maybe I don't
I
know.
figured.
Anyways, okay. Well, so that goes into our. So that was pretty good. So let me ask this question first. You seemed very you had that information ready to go.
Yeah.
So how much of those were true and how much of those were lies?
Okay, so the YouTuber part, no, I don't work with any YouTubers.
Okay.
But I explained to you essentially what some of our clients do.
Ooh.
So as part of being account executive, I have to know like the industries that our clients are in.
Okay.
So I know a little bit about what they do.
Oh.
Okay.
So then that goes into the next one where the tractor thing. Wow, that's really
Do you
cool.
wanna
So
Yes.
did you really go to North Dakota?
No, I'm going in 3 weeks.
What?
That's why I haven't been yet.
Oh my
but I'm
gosh,
headed
that's
out
so
there
cool.
soon.
So the tractors really drive themselves?
Yeah, it's called the autonomous tractor, which I can now tell you about.
Okay.
Like previously, a year ago, we were doing some video work for John Deere. We work with John Deere dealers across the country, so not John Deere corporate, but
Yeah.
if like here, the dealers Ag Pro, that's one of our clients.
Yeah.
So we do some work for them, but like around other places, they test kind of the new equipment, but now the autonomous tractor is out. So that means like
crazy.
no one is actually driving the tractor. You just in their computer system, their precision ag is what it's called. You like set it up and it does it.
How do they test that without wrecking stuff?
That's a good question. I came in late in the game, like after it already worked.
It's like you had to crash a few tractors.
You had to run over something a few times to test it. Just like Iron Man when he was like testing it out for the first time, he destroyed a few things.
Broke a few bones.
Yeah, yeah. What about you, Silas? What you got to ask her?
What's the hardest thing about your job?
Ooh, right out the gate.
The hardest thing, man, there is a lot of information to keep up with. So I think just staying organized and keeping track. So we work with, off the top of my head, 20 something clients, and they range from the agriculture world, like John Deere dealers, to an electric company, to a software company in the ag world, to a grocery store chain in South Mississippi, like lots of different things. So there's a lot of different industries, and keeping up with all the different tasks that go on in the marketing world, I think just staying on top of that can be really difficult. And then when ads aren't getting results and things aren't going the way that you want them to, like finding solutions for that is fun and exciting, but also pretty challenging. So
Okay, that's cool.
So, one of the things when it comes to this show, we want to just talk about some of the skills that go into your job, especially those who are wanting to go for that. What are the necessary skills for being an account executive, correct?
yeah, so I would say communication skills are your number one. So a lot of what my job is communicating directly with our clients, kind of like the liaison between our internal team and the client themselves. So some clients have like marketing managers that we work with, and some we're working directly with the CEO of the company, or maybe someone else that does like business development or growth or something. It just kind of depends on how big or small the company really is. So being able to communicate clearly, sometimes you're working with people who really know what you're talking about, like they really know marketing, and then sometimes you're talking to people who have no idea, and that's why we're here to help.
Yeah.
So being able to articulate exactly what we do, why we do it, when we do it, is really big. So I would say that relationship building, so being able to not get frustrated when people are frustrated with you, and being able to work through conflict and find solutions. So that really goes into problem solving skills, like a lot of those soft skills. Now, for my role in particular, I don't do a lot of the technical work. Like, I'm not a graphic designer. We have graphic designers. I don't record our videos or edit them. We have creative strategists, videographers. There's a lot that goes into the marketing sphere. We have people who implement Facebook ads and Google ads and stuff like that. But I kind of oversee everything that's going on.
Oh, that's cool.
And help make sure the client is getting exactly what they want. We're executing their marketing plan well, and that we are, being flexible when we need to be and things like that.
Okay. No, that's really cool. And then you also mentioned school. What did you have to go to? What kind of degree did you have to go after to reach what you're in now?
Yeah, so my degree is in communication studies from the University of Tennessee. And that degree is more science heavy. So in the College of Communication at UT, you could go into PR public relations, advertising, communication studies, or journalism. They all are very similar, have similar aspects, but communication was more general in that you learned theories of how to communicate with people and skills to do it well and presentations and a lot of science behind why we communicate, why consumers do what they do when you're talking about marketing in particular. Whereas some of those other ones are more writing based and maybe more graphic design if you're in advertising and learning creative elements. So that's how mine was a little bit different.
That is very interesting.
Yeah.
The science behind how you talk to people. I remember growing up watching.
I remember growing up.
Hey, you leave me alone.
Back in my day. Sorry.
Says the person with them gray hairs
No,
over there.
that's why I was saying it, Joe, because you were not that old, sir. Go ahead. Leave my salt and pepper alone.
So when I was growing up, I used to go and watch YouTube videos of TED Talks where they would just have conversations on how to improve your communication skills. I always wanted to figure out how to be better when it comes to talking to people.
Yeah.
And so I would get into the nitty gritty and be like, okay, what's my body posture looking like? They say as so much as it's crazy.
No, I know.
It's crazy because they're like, yeah, open, close. Where's your shoulders facing at? Is your feet facing them? It got to that level for me at least. But yeah, that's crazy.
Is that why you went to Australia? Is to learn how to talk with your
Yes.
body language there? Good day, mate. I'm going to talk with my shoulders. That was awful.
How did you go from Australian accent to like England?
Because, Joe, it's called diversity, okay? I
No,
know.
it's not. No, it's not.
Sorry, go ahead. So what did you go to Australia for then?
I studied abroad
Yes.
there, so that was my sophomore year of college.
Did
so
it have something to do with communication, though?
It did. So
Okay.
the School of Communication at UT takes a trip. I don't think they do it anymore, but they used to take a yearly trip to Australia and they had like a partnership there with the University of Sydney. So we took Australian history from a professor there, and then a professor from UT went with us, and she taught intercultural communication. So we did a lot with like local people there and what to, even though you would not think culturally Australia is very different than us. They speak English. The setup of their government similar to ours, like things like that. But culturally, it is different, more of like a relaxed lifestyle and health conscious, like all these things.
Yeah.
And just their history that has influenced them. They were a convict nation. So
Yeah, they
the
were all-
criminals
yeah.
from England had to go build that nation. So it's just like
That's funny. You didn't know that?
crazy how the
I
world
didn't know that.
Yeah.
works at the time. Yeah, so
That's cool.
it was
I
built
mean-
off that
Yeah.
at the beginning. But so I took that class, and then I did an internship. So the first half we studied, and the second half we worked. So I worked for the Australian Business Women's Network.
Ooh.
I was a PR intern, so I helped introduce some people into the Australian Businesswomen's Hall of Fame, worked on some articles for them.
Wow.
An event for that.
That's really
and
cool.
did a lot of, helped them run their podcasts, listen to, transcribed their podcasts for them.
Is that a lot of typing?
Yes, a lot of typing, but I will say I was telling someone recently, though that was like busy work that an intern, might typically do, I learned so much. I had a notepad, like writing down if they were giving really good tidbits about stuff. I'm like, yeah, write that down. While I'm transcribing this, I'm gonna make use of my time. So
Okay.
Good.
I want to help give some of our listeners out there and future listeners some nuggets of information. So you're talking about note taking for those in school and all that. What's the best way to take notes in your opinion? Like, how do you go about that?
to me, okay, I will say a huge part of my job now is note taking. When I'm having a meeting,
Yeah.
and we need to reference, it's amazing how much you have to go back and reference. What did we say in that meeting? What did we agree to? What did the client ask for? I will say the best way to take notes is truly the way that works for you. And I think this will apply to a lot of things in your life, but you got to find what works for you. And there's a million ways, and I am guilty of this, of trying to find the perfect way to do something. And it isn't really helpful if you're not actually doing it. So I think, to me, when I take notes, I try to write down, I don't try to write down exactly what the person is saying. I try to comprehend. So whatever you're telling me, I'm going to digest it a little bit and write down the important things just to kind of comprehend, like just to give me enough to trigger what was said. So I shorthand a lot of things, because a lot of times then I'm writing a follow-up email. I'm delivering action items to my team, so I've got to take those nuggets and translate them so that someone else can understand. So finding a system that works for you, it took a long time for me to find a system. Even in college, I was like writing down every single thing the professor said, and you really didn't need to do that. You need to write down like just the most important piece of information, and then, or just something to jog your memory to go back and look later. I know there's a lot of different, like, write this here and that there and those things, but it never worked for me. Now, if it works for someone else, absolutely do it. But
No, that's really good. That's really good.
I get paralysis when I think about taking notes, because everything, it'd say, pick out the most important things. Well, everything's important. And then I freeze up. So that's where I live.
it's hard.
Oh, that's fair. Hey, Silas, do you have any questions that you want to ask?
What is like, what's your favorite thing? Like, what's the one thing that you're most excited for whenever you go to like a meeting or
Well, my favorite thing is their people that we work with. So
different
we
people?
work with a lot of different people. A lot of our clients, we're based in Mississippi, so a lot of our partners are Mississippi-based small businesses. So we work some in the Delta in Mississippi. So that's like on the Mississippi River Delta, there's businesses there. We work with some in like South Mississippi, but now we have clients in Louisiana, Illinois, North Dakota, Georgia, kind of all over, and we get to travel and talk with them. And I think it's so interesting just to really connect with people. It's a way to meet different people. And like a few months ago, I think it was in April, we were at a shoot for a John Deere dealer in Georgia, and they invited us to dinner. So my team and we went and had dinner, and they made, let me tell you this, it was in Vidalia, Georgia, home of the Vidalia
I
onion.
bet you everything was onions, wasn't it?
Yep. Have you been to Vidalia, Georgia? I mean, the courthouse has an onion on top.
I mean, I've been through Vidalia, but never.
So you really need to dig into the Vidalia lore if you haven't heard about Vidalia onions. But it's like the soil there has less of something that makes onions sweet. So we were there around the time of Vidalia Onion Festival.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like a good time. I just imagine the mayor just, welcome to Vidalia, Georgia, onion like an apple.
So
I just keep thinking of the movie Holes.
Yeah.
Just that scene. It's like, look at these onions.
Yeah.
they like made us homemade onion rings, and it was so good.
Oh,
Shrimp.
my mom made this yesterday.
You're making me hungry.
Yeah, they made it was great. So they cooked shrimp, potatoes, and he like dug potatoes out of his garden. You know?
That's awesome.
Like, ate the
Farm to
onion
table,
rings.
huh?
Yeah, farmed.
So sorry. Hey. Anyways, got a stutter. So you work with like sounds like you guys do like some agriculture, like you said earlier. So like you get to travel. You get to travel for your job then. So that must be a lot of fun.
It is fun. Can be exhausting.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm about to go on I'll be shooting every week for the next several weeks. So,
Shooting, huh?
yes.
That sounds awesome. No, listen, I wish I could do that. Like, cause that's a lot of fun to be able to be on set and doing stuff. So you guys shoot commercials, or is it just like?
Yeah, we shoot commercials. So we have usually our team is like an in-house videographer. So he has the whole setup of camera equipment,
dope.
things like that. We have a creative strategist that goes. So she's kind of the vision behind, she writes our storyboard. She's the vision behind like what's going to come to life in the commercial.
Yeah.
And then sometimes we bring a photographer too. He's a freelancer from the town that I used to live in, and he comes with us if we need still photography for some ads. So it'll be the four of us, and we'll go. And my role is really to develop that relationship with the client while we're there, and
That sounds awesome.
that's usually when we get to spend time with our clients. So overseeing and kind of being the person just to fill in anywhere and help, but also maintain that relationship.
So like because one of our things we do here is we do technical training courses, and that's like just like intense. It's like a workshop type thing. And one of the things that we've talked about doing is getting into teaching kids how to do commercial type stuff. That could be a fun workshop where we could come visit you guys or bring a team over here, and we could set up some stuff. I don't know if that's something that you guys would be interested in, but
I can definitely talk to him about it. Yeah,
that'd
that'd be
pretty
cool.
It would be really cool because one of the things, especially with this podcast, we've talked about is like going around and going to some companies and asking, say, hey, we'll put together a professional commercial for your business if you sponsor this podcast, and like, man, that'd be sick. But
that'd be dope.
yeah, and then get some Vidalia onions on the way. I mean, come on, like, so.
I'm highly interested in Vidalia onions now.
We could take a trip, Joe. I mean,
Do they taste good?
it's like 3 hours from
taste good,
Disney,
yeah.
so I mean,
But I like onions, so you gotta.
yeah.
Oh.
Have you ever had a Vidalia onion?
No, I just like.
I'm sure you have. You just don't
It's like
know it.
it's just like sweet onion, not like. Onions are usually pungent, is the word.
Like ogres.
So these are sweet.
No, ogres have layers.
Yeah, Shrek 5 coming out. We're not sponsored to pay for it. Anyways, so Vidalia is a real small town though. Like, what's the coolest place that you've kind of been to in the United States with your job?
So hard.
There's a lot, isn't there?
One of my favorites is in Louisiana because I think the sugarcane farms are pretty cool. So
Sugarcane.
and like the swamp of it all, you know.
So you've been to Louisiana. I've always wanted to go to Louisiana.
Yeah,
Katie
I
and
think
I,
the people are great.
we're trying
there
to
too.
do the influencer thing right now. We've got a YouTube channel. She's just taken off on TikTok, and we just had two videos
I've actually
go viral.
seen your viral
Thank
TikTok.
you.
Yes,
Thank you. It's pretty nice.
I am a Swiftie myself, so
Man, the people that got so flexed about me talking over, I was like, y'all, that's the shtick. Like, she's explaining to me, and I'm like, oh, this is great. Yeah, commentary. And people got so mad about it. I was like, all right, so I'll take the engagement, though. Like,
It's also funny that the microphone was closer to you. And it's like, what do we do?
well, I mean, it was like, I was holding the phone. But anyways, it was just funny. But they you know, we've had brands reaching out to us too, so we're like trying to, because we want to travel. We want memories and experiences with our kids. So,
yeah.
but so anyways, Silas.
Yeah. Let's see. What how did you learn and want to be in this career?
Okay.
Okay, so that's actually a really interesting story. So, when I was deciding where I wanted to go to college, I grew up here in Cleveland, but I really wanted to go to Ole Miss in Oxford, Mississippi. So, my parents went to Ole Miss. I lived in Oxford till I was like 10 or 11. So, like
Mississippi, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The University of Mississippi, Ole
Yeah,
Miss.
yeah.
So I really wanted to do that. I did not consider going anywhere else. Like I applied to Ole Miss, planning to get in and get a scholarship, and like I didn't try to do anything else.
Yeah.
What I wanted to do there was like international business. They have a good program for that, and you like travel. You spend a year of your time like in a different country, learning the language, learning the business, like all of this different stuff. So it's called the Croft Institute. I never for one second considered I would not get into that program, and I didn't.
Ooh.
And I remember
Door shut.
December in my high school, like crying because I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life now. Like, and so I had some friends going to UT, and they were like, why don't you just come visit UT?
Yeah.
So I went up with them, actually loved it. They were doing journalism and communications, and I was like, I have no plan for my life now. Like, I'll just do whatever y'all are doing.
Wow.
And so,
That worked out for you then.
yes, and they told me during that
If your kids join,
that
would you do it?
thing that we went to, like, it was like one of the things we'll do is a trip to Sydney. And I was like, okay, I want to go to Sydney.
Yeah.
Like, that was the whole reason.
That would justify me. I'd be like, yeah, absolutely.
Would I recommend that to people? No.
Would
but
I-
sometimes it just works out that
Yeah,
way.
it
So
just works
I
out.
studied that, thought about going to law school.
Oh,
A lot of people who do communications will go into law school after that. That's a pretty common path.
good to know.
So thought about that, studied for the LSAT, took the LSAT, and was planning to do that. In Australia, though, I really hated my internship. Like, I was like, I just don't know that this is what I want to do with my life. And talked to my professor that was there about it. She was like, when you get back, why don't you come do some research with me and see if you like research? So
Yeah.
I worked with her. We worked on this super interesting project about opioid addiction and how it affects your ability to communicate and your ability to have relationships. It was fascinating research. So because I was doing that research, I took a class called psychopharmacology because I wanted to understand.
Psychopharmacology.
Yeah.
You were just blowing my mind.
Yeah,
with all
I
this
was like,
stuff. Okay.
crazy. So I took a class about, it was basically illegal drugs and behavior and how it affects your mind and body. So I'm like seeing people in this research project, like we were sitting down interviewing people that were addicted to drugs and about like their relationships. They're like hearing our questions and realizing that they've lost their ability to have relationships because nothing compares
To the drugs.
to the drugs. You can't like have this, you don't get the same kind of joy out of relationships
Yeah.
that like people who don't have that
Wow.
do. So it's really fascinating.
Yes.
I'm learning about all the different things and even like other medicines and what they do to your body.
Wow.
So I think during that time, maybe I want to be a pharmacist. So my aunt and uncle own a pharmacy in Mississippi. I'm like I call them, I'm excited about it. I'm like, hey, this is really fascinating to me. I really love it. So I talked to one of my professors and she's like, I think that you love this and you're so passionate about it. And I've never seen you be this passionate about law school. Like maybe this is your path. So my junior year of college, I'm one class away from graduating early. Decided to take all the prereqs for pharmacy school.
What?
So I've got a degree in communication and I've got basically a degree in pre-pharmacy.
Wow.
So I took every single prereq for pharmacy school. I applied to pharmacy school, had to advocate for myself to get in because I have a degree in communication.
right.
I get into UT's pharmacy school
Get it.
in Memphis. So that was 2018, I think, and I would start in the fall of 2019. I was missing one class. It was organic chemistry. So I had to take it in the summer at a community college.
That always
But-
sounds. Was it boring?
It was boring. It was hard.
Yeah, hard.
I
That's
like
what I meant,
really
hard.
I really studied.
Yeah.
I took a job at Walgreens Pharmacy. I was working as a pharmacy tech.
Yeah, you did.
I was doing all of this stuff, trying, like thinking that was my path. And I did not, basically, they would not let me take that organic chemistry class in the summer and start in the fall. So they said, what if you fail? I was like, I promise you, I've worked so hard. I'm not going to fail. Like this is going to happen. And they wouldn't let me do it. So I had to defer my enrollment for a year, which put me starting pharmacy school in the fall of 2020.
Ooh, the dreaded.
So when everyone talks about quarantine and COVID, like I didn't have that experience because I was working in a pharmacy. So when I remember,
So you were actually busy.
Yeah, like in COVID-19, like the pharmacist I worked for, he was from India, so he was hearing from his family in India, like in late 2019, like, hey, there's this virus, there's this thing coming. I'm worried about it. So I'm hearing it in December of 2019 of like, oh, what's going on, and we're just waiting. So like, I spend all of that time working at the pharmacy, all of this stuff. Anyway, I realized at some point that I hate this.
Yeah.
Like what I loved about the research and what I'm actually doing is not the same.
It's not. Yeah.
And I had people in my life, like pharmacists in my life, saying, hey, you don't want to do this. This is the trend of like this pendulum that swings is not on our side right now. Like, you're going to have massive debt. You're going to not get paid that much to pay back your loans. You're going to have to work a lot. Like, all these things,
Oof.
which I don't know. Like, insurance companies, all the stuff. They're like, this is not
Yeah.
a wise decision. So it really took, in the summer of 2020, I had to sit down and be like, okay, am I going to school? I've done all of this work. How in the world? And like, truly, part of this is my faith. Like, I really thought the Lord was leading me that way. So to get that far in the path, see so many doors open and hear, this isn't the choice for you anymore. Like, that was hard because I'm like, how do you go down
I've
this
been there.
path for so long
Yeah.
and waste your time?
Oh
basically?
my gosh, yes.
So I was really struggling with it. I talked to my family about it. My mom talked to my grandfather about it. And he was like, it was weighing on him. He was really worried. He talked to his best friend in Mississippi and was like, and he was just like having a casual conversation. It was like, my granddaughter, she thought she was going to pharmacy school. She doesn't think it's right anymore. Like, doesn't know what to do. And he's just asking, well, what's her degree in? Blah, blah. He's like, communications. And he's like, well, I'm looking for a communications director. Would she be interested?
Ooh.
So in 2020, I drove down on a whim to Batesville, Mississippi, which is where home of the South Manola Tigers, if you're familiar. Very good football team in Mississippi. And interviewed with the superintendent for a job as their communications director.
Wow.
Okay.
Because their old one was getting ready to leave.
That is so cool.
That is cool.
I interviewed. A week later, they offered me the job, and I decided, you know what, I think this is what I'm supposed to do. And so I took the job.
That's so cool.
So then I worked in a school during COVID and schools reopening.
Oh, yeah.
And in a county where it was probably a 50-50 split of people who think we should reopen and wear masks and do all the stuff, or we should stay closed, or we should not be wearing, it was just a lot of division. You couldn't make anyone happy. And I'm on the forefront of having to relay information and make people feel safe. So it was a rewarding job in that I really felt like I made an impact and got to help people and communicate things well and keep people informed and all of that. It was a really difficult job as well because a lot of that weighs on you. So I was like teaching a journalism class. Never been a teacher. I was like, what?
Sounds like us.
Part of the job. Yeah. I was like studying the night before, like how to work a camera, how to work Premiere Pro, like any of this stuff. Just
you're giving me
it
faith,
and, like telling it the day before. Yeah, I've been there. That was my favorite part. I loved my students. I loved the relationships I got to build there. It was great. So I did that for about 2 years. And it was really awesome. It was rewarding and it was good, but it wasn't like truly what I wanted to do. Like I just didn't feel like it was for me to do forever. And there had been so much division and like all these things, and I was really trying to come to a place where like I really felt like we needed to not rebrand as a district, but we needed to set ourselves up for like future success.
Right. Yeah.
So I reached out to Hunt Marketing, the company I work for, and asked them to help with a branding project. We needed an official tiger. We needed some messaging and some videos, like to get people hyped about school and all those things. They were known for athletics and not really academics, but not really for good reason. The academics had come so far. They were an A-rated district. Like they just needed people in the community to know. So I reached out, help. I came to the meeting with a PowerPoint, a pitch of like, hey, I need all this work done, but I'm not a graphic designer. I'm not a videographer. Like if you guys could do it, it'd really help. I left that meeting and I went with like a coworker of mine, and that he kind of knew these people.
Yeah.
I left that meeting, and the lady that was the vice president of the company at the time texted him and said, how much does she make?
Uh-oh.
And he was like, is she happy at her job?
Oh.
So a couple weeks later, they reached out and asked me if I would come work for them. So I left my job. I'd pitched them a project and then left.
Wow, that's crazy.
And so we did not do the project.
Yeah.
So,
hey, ching, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but it really, like, truly, it was like where I needed to be.
Yeah.
And I feel like I was a better fit for this job. And like it was just in my career. And
yeah.
I was commuting like 30 minutes, and that helped me not. And now I work fully remote.
Oh, wow.
So my husband, he works in ag research for UT, and so when he used to work for Mississippi State,
That's
now he
cool.
moves there. I got to keep my job, and I work remotely now. So those were just things that I wasn't gonna be able to do if I kept a job like that. So anyway, I don't remember what the question was.
So you guys,
I think you answered it.
yeah, no, that was awesome. That was like, that was a good story. Like there was a lot of. Because I think I can relate to those moments where you think you're going one direction and you're just like, oh, this is it. I'm having a great time. And then all of a sudden, nope, it just goes this completely sideways for you. But yeah, so you work remotely now, which I've tasted that life, and that's I'd love to get back to that life.
Tasted the dream.
Yeah, I've seen the promised land. There's just something so fun about working from home in your pajamas all the time, or you can go work. I called a friend of mine one time, and he was at the beach in a cabana. What is it?
I think so.
Yeah. And he's like, I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm working. He shows me his computer screen, and then he shows me the beach in the background. I'm like, you jerk! Like, stop it. Man. So, but go ahead.
Oh well, I was about to say, I think it's time for.
Wrapping it up here. Okay, so now it's time for the rapid fire questions.
So this is the part of the show. Yeah, you don't have the questions.
We do.
Well, actually, I do.
Oh yeah, you do. Where'd my copy go?
You don't get one.
I guess not. Okay.
So this is the part of the show where we try to have some fun. On our recent podcast, we had someone answer 17 questions, and it is going to be your job to answer more than that.
Okay.
So we have prepared one-word responses to these questions for you. I said that right, yes? We prepared questions where you can just give one-word answers.
Come on.
Okay.
And that's all you got. Hey. So you're gonna have 60 seconds to answer as many as you can.
Okay.
Are we ready? And we got a nice little ding noise now to let you know when you've answered them. So we're gonna tally that up,
Is it
right?
or wrong? Or is
There's
it
no
just
right or
me?
wrong answer.
Okay,
It's just
okay.
you just got to get through them
I got it.
This is all questions about you,
Okay.
or for you.
by you. No wait.
Are we ready? Are we ready?
I think we're ready.
Okay. Okay. Favorite flavor of ice cream.
Chocolate.
Favorite movie.
Mean Girls.
Can you read?
Yes.
Who's your favorite author?
Kristen Hanna.
Favorite book?
The Nightingale.
Ham or sausage?
Sausage.
Would you rather have no arms or no legs?
That's the
No
one.
arms.
What's your favorite beverage?
Ooh, I like LaCroix.
Ooh, favorite pastime?
Reading.
Can you swim?
Yes.
Do you have a favorite superhero?
Batman.
If you could have coffee with a person, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh my gosh. Kristen Hanna.
Does pineapples belong on a pizza?
Yes.
Is water wet?
Yes.
Would you rather travel by plane or boat?
Plane.
When's the last time you stubbed your toe?
Like 2 days ago.
Have you ever broken any bones?
So close. So close. How many was that?
You answered 16.
The next one was a very good answer.
What was the answer? You can go ahead.
I have broken the same foot twice.
What? How did you do that?
The first time hiking House Mountain in college
Yeah.
with my roommate. We were hiking at sunset and did not realize we didn't account for the fact that if you hike at sunset, you hike down in the dark.
Ooh.
And I fell and landed, tripped down the mountain, landed on a rock, broke my foot, had to walk a mile out. Wow. I considered dropping out of college at that point. That was my freshman year, right before fall break, and you're on UT's campus. It's so hilly, you're walking in a cast on crutches. It was miserable. Second time, it was my very first week of my job, and I had to give a presentation on myself about myself, and then as a fake marketing scenario, what I would do. And I walked out of my house that morning and tripped and fell and broke my foot. And I knew immediately I'd broken my foot. And I called my dad and I was like, I think I broke my foot. And he was like, there's no way. And I was like, yeah, it feels the same as last time. He's like, there's no way you can break the same foot twice in the same place. We had our office is all upstairs. And their conference room is downstairs. Well, underneath us was an Ortho Express. So it's urgent care, but for orthopedics. So I went to work. I was hobbling. I gave my presentation. And then I was like, I need to go to Ortho Express, get an x-ray. And
yeah, you did.
Walk down under there. And
you gave that
broken. So the first month and a half, I was in a cast, in a boot. and everyone took turns sitting in the conference room with me, so I wasn't alone.
Oh, that's nice.
It was sweet.
Were you-
That's how I got
okay,
to know people.
Did you like give the presentation like, my name is Mary?
No, and like I was standing there, and it didn't hurt bad if I wasn't moving it.
Okay.
But they all knew. The girl, like, she was
Was
like,
it
"Why are
smelled
you
up, like-
hobbling?" Yeah, my office mate at the time was like, "I'm gonna get you some pillows and some ice, and like just prop that up."
Wow.
They're probably like, man, this girl's dedicated.
Yeah.
I was like, I wanted this job so bad. Like
Mad respect. She did it on
now that I know everybody, I'm like, that was silly. They would have let me not give that presentation. You know what? They never made anyone else give a presentation. I was like the first.
Yeah, you're setting trends.
After
at you.
that, everyone else, they're like,
Mary the trendsetter.
too much. We'll hire
good.
people and they don't have to do it. So
Oh, that is incredible. Well, does anybody have any other questions?
What's your favorite kind of cheese?
What?
that is so hard because I love cheese. Like
Same.
I like Brie. I like Munster.
Monster's a good one.
Yeah.
Monster.
And like, yeah, you gotta try Munster tea if you haven't had
I've
it.
had it, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the one that like
Gardener's Market.
no, I'm thinking Gouda. Gouda is Gouda is Gouda. Gouda is good. Anyway, sorry.
I just want to look at you as you explain a joke and be
I
like,
need the rim shot. Something. All right, go ahead. So cheese, you like
Answer. I like
all the
all
cheeses?
cheese probably.
All
I don't know if there's a
cheese.
cheese I don't like.
Oh.
Which one's your favorite though?
Limburger.
I like I think Munster is my favorite.
Good choice. Good answer.
That's good.
Good.
I'm a provolone
answer.
and mozzarella.
Ooh, fresh mozzarella.
What about you,
is the way to
Silas?
go.
I just like. I really. Okay, this is gonna sound really weird, and I'm probably gonna be judged for this, but I like chocolate cheese.
Huh?
Ever
Say
had
that again?
chocolate cheese?
You haven't?
No, where do you get chocolate
So
cheese?
my grandparents sometimes they'll like they go and I don't know, they got it from somewhere and it was just like it looked like a brownie but it was a kind of cheese and it was actually really good. It tastes oh, this is embarrassing.
Oh, I'm laughing at
ahead.
Joey's there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it was really good. It
What
was
do you eat chocolate cheese with?
Yeah,
Like
what do
by
you eat
itself?
chocolate
Do you
cheese?
put it on a cracker?
I just ate it by itself.
Okay.
I tried it on an apple slice, but it didn't taste good.
So is it like chocolate that's like a cheese texture?
No, it's like chocolate that like they mix cheese and chocolate.
Cheese with
and
cocoa.
it's so good. It
So, like-
basically has like the sharp
Okay.
kind of taste of cheese, but you got like the chocolate. Oh, it's good.
So if you put it on a s'more, it'd be like a chocolate or a grilled s'more. Never mind. Dang it, I couldn't do that one. That would. So it's like kind of melty.
No, it's just like it's just
Like
it's
you know, how like cheese, you pull it apart and like
Strinky?
yeah.
no, it's just
okay.
like okay, you know those blocks that you buy, like
like
the little
brie.
wedges.
Okay. Okay.
Cheese?
Okay.
They just yeah, it's like that, but it crumbles really easily.
Like feta.
Yeah,
Better. It's better.
it's basically a mix of just multiple cheeses, and then you just dump chocolate on it.
So it's like all the cheeses combined.
Yeah, it was
It's like
really
a
good.
Ultra cheese.
I don't know.
Who makes this kind of cheese?
I have no idea where they got it. They got it from somewhere that's not here.
And you ate it without question?
Yeah, I mean I'll eat.
He said you
pretty
gotta
much
try
anything.
everything once.
Yeah. There's not everything. It doesn't work for everything, Joe.
See, if I don't want to eat something, I think, well, what if I won't get another chance before I die to eat this? And I'm like, all right,
okay.
let's eat it.
No,
So
sometimes I think the same thing.
Yeah.
yeah. Like,
Did you eat anything weird in Australia?
Why does it have to be
Oh,
weird?
yeah.
Sorry. Let me back
I
up.
did.
Different than what you're normal to. I'm sorry.
I had
apologize.
kangaroo.
What?
Yeah, I don't.
She said,
That's
I
weird.
I would not recommend. Well, let
She
me,
said, I don't fight kangaroos. I eat them.
like a baby kangaroo comes up to like a picnic table. You're like,
Why
here,
is it-
take
oh
this
my
piece of
God.
me.
I said no dark jokes.
no,
I'm
it's
sorry.
like it's called minced meat there. You know, like
Ooh.
hamburger meat and like
Yeah.
ground. So I had like a kangaroo burger. Would not recommend. Had a kangaroo
Did it-
steak. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Did it have a kick to it?
Yeah, it's like you know how like deer meat tastes like gamey
Yeah.
kind of. It
Yeah.
tastes like that.
Well,
That was a good one.
you can't win them all. I had camel one time. I think I told you that, Joe.
I had
Yeah, you
bison.
And goat.
I've had goat.
Yeah.
I had bison. Bison is good. It's like
Yeah.
a bison bratwurst. Oh, it was
Really?
really good.
They have bison at Jenkins.
They
They
do.
have a bison burger. Or is it a buffalo burger? It's buffalo because I thought it was like a buffalo chicken type thing, like with. And I was like, oh, this would be great. And I was like, what is this? This isn't. There's no hot sauce and ranch on this. Like, so.
It's like joke's on you.
Yeah, I'm so interested about this chocolate cheese. Could you get some of that?
I don't know where you could get it. It's if you look up a picture, it looks pretty.
I'm gonna Google it, and if it's not true,
Okay.
I'm gonna take your left
If
shoe.
you lie to me,
You're gonna
I
take my
am
left shoe.
taking your left shoe
Yeah.
and keeping it. Oh,
Oh,
look,
okay.
Amelia
Amelia's
came
pulling
to
it
your
up.
rescue.
Oh, we're pulling up
See?
on the screen, the
See?
monitor here.
Oh my
See,
gosh.
I'm not a liar.
Oh.
I'm not a liar. I
First of all,
speak the truth.
Liars.
That looks like
liars a loose term.
fudge.
As if a hard. Yeah.
That is fudge.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that's fudge?
Huh? No, it has like the cheesy taste in it. It's weird.
Cheesy taste.
Are you sure it's not fudge?
No, no.
His grandparents called it. You want some cheese chocolate? Chocolate cheese. Most
What
people
does
call
Google
it fudge.
Shopping say? Where can you get it?
Are you making
Yeah.
fun of my grandmother?
No, I'm just doing. I don't know what your grandma sounds like, so
Amazon.
I'm doing a generic.
I don't know if I'm eating cheese from Amazon.
Ugh.
Chocolate cheese with
Joe ordered a
walnuts
steak. He had a steak pull up in a box and some dry ice.
from the Wagyu shop.
The
Oh,
Wagyu.
Wagyu is Australian beef.
I
it?
had the Japanese one though.
okay.
Ooh.
Japanese cut. That one was good. Don't ask me to pronounce it because I couldn't.
I went to a fancy
see?
restaurant one time where they gave us a rock and we cooked it on the rock.
That's an experience.
It was. Okay, so there's chocolate cheese.
Made
That's-
with cheddar. Made with cheddar. See?
Made.
$20 for chocolate cheese.
Go ahead and order that. I'm just kidding. We'll try it the next episode. Okay, so I still want to know about the kangaroo. Like you just ate it.
Yeah, so we lived in like an apartment complex, like student housing while we were there, and there were some people who came. This is how I ended up at surf camp. So they came and they were like trying to get people to go to surf camp.
Okay.
They were like cooking, like their hook was like, "Hey, we're making kangaroo burgers. Would you like to try one?" And I was like, "Sure." And so then they're like, "Hey, we run this." This is terrible. They run this surf camp, and they're like, "Do y'all want to go?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we do. We're from America. Like, we've been wanting to do that." Blah blah. And he's like, "Okay, well, on Saturday we'll meet you out here with the van, and y'all like just come with us to
Okay.
surf camp." And so we paid them $300 and met them with, and they show up with like a white van. You're like, okay, I hope we're going to surf camp, but I'm not sure.
I'm imagining them. With the kangaroo is tied up in the van with the thing. He's like, "Ah!" He shuts the door.
It gets so much worse because it's like we keep picking up people from like hostels on the way, you know.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
like, we're sitting, and I'm
You're
with a
just like,
group of people, and
uh-oh.
it's like an odd number of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
So when we get to camp, they're like, okay, everyone find your roommate. And I'm sitting by a Russian guy, and we've been like conversing a little bit, but like he doesn't really speak English. I
Yeah.
definitely don't speak Russian. So like we're having a hard time. And so like all of my friends suddenly pair up.
Mm.
And the Russian guy's like, "Do you want to be my roommate for this?"
Want
I'm like,
to- want
"No,
to room with me?"
no, I don't. I don't."
I must break
And
you.
so we had like not a cabin.
So the Russian
Yeah,
guy
it was
asked you if you
3.
wanted to be his roommate.
He did, and I was like, "I'm sorry, sir. I don't want to be your roommate for this
Sorry.
camp." So
That's funny.
we
That
had
sounds-
3 to a room.
So the kangaroo burger turned into a bigger adventure.
It did. It turned
Wow.
into surf camp. So these guys just live in Australia, and all they do is teach surf camp. They were from
Yeah.
like all over the world. So in the morning we would surf, and in the afternoon you would like scuba dive and snorkel. And they were like where they went were some stingrays and stuff that like they feed, so they keep coming. So we did that, and then there was a French woman who cooked meals. Like it's just like going to Camp Cherokee, you know, like someone cooks meals out for every
Oh, I
time,
love
and they were
Camp
like
Cherokee.
everything she cooked was amazing. So we
That's
did that for
making me
like
hungry right
several
now.
days.
I go to a camp. It's Ridgehaven, and you go there in the winter, and there's like snow, and you jump in like the road up there. There's like blizzards and stuff, and we started sliding down a hill in the big van ones. And
What was the name of the place?
Huh? It's
was
called Ridgehaven,
It sounds like
and like once you're
I'm
there,
from Ridgehaven. I bring my battle axe. Sorry, go ahead.
well, yeah, but yeah, I think it's better than Camp Cherokee because you get to jump into ice cold like ponds.
You
and,
jumped in the ice cold in the winter
yeah,
in the lake.
in the pond, and it's up in North Carolina too. And
That's
so
He said, I'm ready.
and like instead of like we do bubble soccer, where you get in those big
Oh, yeah.
plastic things and you run at each other. And,
Everyone has their own camp experience. Okay.
and then we shoot people with bow and arrows. But they have like
Wait,
but
whoa,
they- wait.
Murder camp?
No. But like we have archery tag and you hit people with arrows.
Oh,
But it's like
we need a preface with that.
yeah, sorry, that sounded. It's like yeah, we get to shoot people too.
That was my favorite part.
But anyway, it looks
Right
like we are
beyond.
now at the end of our time. We do have one more question for you, Mary, and it is, if with all the things that you know now, what would be that one thing you would tell your younger self?
Just really to keep going, that everything turns out okay. Like, I worried so much about what was the right path and what I needed to do and how I was going to get there and all of that, and it ended up being okay, and I didn't have to spend so much time stressing and they say borrowing tomorrow's worries. Like,
Yeah.
if it's not good, it's not the end. And I just didn't have to spend all of that time thinking that I wasn't good enough and that it wasn't going to work out, because it did. And I think when I look back, like, every step that I took was preparing me for what I do now. And you can make mistakes and things still turn out all right, and pretty much everything is fixable. Even if you go the wrong course, you can always turn back. And like with anything, you got to be willing to fail, because that's how you learn. So.
Yeah. Failure's a tough lesson. We tend to move away from it and be afraid of it, but that's the only way we really learn. So, all right. Well,
I'm Mr. Joe, and we were joined by Silas and Crazy J and our special guest, Mary Cordero.
woo!
So this is YouthForce Chronicles. We'll catch you next time.
Are you ready? No, we're not.